Welcome to Unscripted. F it. All right, E3 day one. Let's just get the ball
Wait,
rolling.
is there E3? Is
Shut
that on
up.
right now?
Stop. Just stop.
I didn't know. Nobody told me.
Josh. Josh. Day one. What? Day zero. Bethesda. Your
Day
thoughts.
day
Go.
day one and well, first off, let's go to the E3 adjacent group with EA, straight
Can we
kicking
not?
everything off. Hey, EA had some stuff.
EA did have some stuff, but you know what? They're like, we're not going to E3. We're gonna go like to this center over
We're gonna
here.
go E3 adjacent.
Oh.
Though I will say the thing that they did with the simultaneous press conference, half of it being in LA, half of it being in London, and like throwing back and forth was pretty cool. I liked that.
I mean, it's cool enough, I guess.
And
It's basically another middle finger, like we really don't need you.
Yeah. But you know what? That's okay. Because
Yeah,
they showed off Titanfall 2.
they did, and they showed off Battlefield 1 with Titan mode,
They
with
did.
Zeppelins, and I'm happy.
With fucking
I'm as
Snoop
happy as can
Dogg
be.
and Wiz Khalifa and
I could
Jamie
not
Foxx
care less.
and
I don't care who was showing the game off. Just do not care.
Zac Efron was there.
Oh my gosh. It's like, let's get some big names. How about just show me good gameplay? I don't care who's playing it.
Yeah.
And
no.
they showed decent. You know what? It looked okay. It looked good.
Yeah.
The weapons were extremely fast reacting for a World War One game. The tanks were moving around at, I would say, warp speed compared to how they moved in real life.
Also, no French and no Russian. No Russians in the game as of right now. So
Yeah, there's things to be said about that.
yeah, but
Yeah, no French is just like, what?
yeah.
What?
Also, I don't know if this was an error, but they did a really weird thing where they showed a trailer for their trailer. I don't know if anybody caught that. They showed a clip of the trailer, talked about what they were going to show, and then showed that clip again with the rest of the trailer, which I thought was really funny.
Let it not be said, EA is not full of themselves sometimes.
Yeah, really. So,
Get hype for the hype. Can you just show me the game?
no.
Can you stop?
I liked the look of Titanfall.
It looked all right.
I like the look of Titanfall. Also, just the very end where they actually do the Titanfall and you're like in the cockpit. I want that in VR because that looks like that would be fucking mental.
You're not gonna buy VR.
No, I'm not, but I want it. I want it. And I'm again, I'll say this with all the games, and I think I say this pretty clearly. Yes, this is the one time I let myself watch trailers because it's E3 and you kind of have to. And yes, they do build a lot more hype than a lot of those games deliver, and I will wait to see like what it actually delivers. But right now, I'm pretty fucking pumped
For specifically Titanfall 2.
for Titanfall.
Yeah. Anything else EA talk about that interested you? Hold on, let's not bury the lead. We're going to make this quick, and we're only going to talk about stuff that literally interested me and Josh. Like, if you want to know what all happened at E3, by all means, there are multi-million-dollar companies full of news sites and news teams that get paid to do this.
Yep.
You may go there, by all means, but if you want to listen to two guys talk about what interested us, here you are.
Yeah. All I'll say about the FIFA presentation is fuck you, Jose Mourinho. And
Wow. So you're being a little vindictive.
Yep, fuck that guy.
All right.
And I did think, and it'll be very interesting to see what happens with this. The EA Originals concept was pretty interesting to me. We don't need to go into too much detail, but basically they are saying that they're going to fund small indie game dev teams without taking any profits from them. I'm very interested to see how that shakes out over time because how they decided that makes any business sense or what that kind of leads into, I think could be pretty fascinating. But I think it's cool that they've realized that, the indie scene isn't one that they necessarily are good at. So what they're doing is they're just bringing in folks that they know who are better at it than them to make those kinds of games.
Yeah.
So it'll be pretty interesting to see where that goes over time.
Yeah.
Anything else from EA for you?
I saw Battlefield 1, and they talked very briefly about Mass Effect. I like the Mass Effect series, but they talked so briefly about it, there was no meat on that bone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh,
I will say this is also EA.
that's all I
EA is
got.
becoming the studio of Frostbite. Like everything's in Frostbite now.
I don't mind that.
No, Frostbite's great.
I mean, there are better engines, but this is fine. It's
Hey,
good.
they don't really have to pay for that one though. So
Yeah. So let's move on forward. We're gonna talk a tiny bit of Nintendo news, just a very tiny bit.
oh, is there Nintendo news?
Ubisoft. I don't know, that French company. They
Fuck
announced
Vivendi.
that,
I'm surprised they didn't just come out on stage with shirts that just said hashtag fuck Vivendi across it. But I digress.
because that might be their bosses later. We'll get to that. Hang tight. Tight. They announced that they are working on a game for the Nintendo NX.
Really
It's going to be Just Dance.
interesting.
No, it's not.
Hey, I'm
No.
trying to be positive.
I want to. I don't want to be a cynical a-hole, but it's like, oh,
But here he
Ubisoft
goes.
is working on a game for Nintendo NX. What? Just Dance. Oh,
Just Dance.
could have come out on any system.
But it's going
That
to come
is-
out on the NX.
Yeah, okay, that does not excite me in the least. I've never been a fan of the Just Dance series. Not that it's bad. It's just I'm just not a fan.
That's fair.
We can move on to the. Was there anything in the Bethesda conference besides? Oh, I don't know. Quake. Getting
Yeah,
ready to-
Quake Champions, yo. Bringing it.
Yeah.
I really liked the look of Dishonored 2.
Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't?
I mean, that game could pretty well be pretty all right. And it's coming out this year apparently, November 11th right now. But the difference between the two characters and being able to play as either one of them and having the different abilities and having one who's a little more familiar because he's the character you played in the first game, versus this new one who has a completely different set of characteristics and abilities, both of who are fully dialogued and have like kind of different stories throughout it. It could be a pretty interesting game, and also with if the choices are different enough, if the paths are different, divergent enough, it could really open up some replayability in that game, which is pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. What else from Bethesda? They announced some new stuff for Fallout 4.
Yep. Skyrim update coming for the new consoles.
Okay, am I the only one that's like I could not be effed to care?
Yes, you are the only one. Stan,
apparently,
that's why they're making this game, because you're the only one who doesn't care.
I played and beat the first one. It was fine. It was fun. I did everything I need to do. I got like 120 hours, I think, into it. And a remaster of it, like, oh, well, what's improved? Graphics.
I mean, there are people that's the game that they still play. That's the game that's like keeping some of them from upgrading consoles because they play that game so fucking much.
I just don't get. It's like hold on, to you and to me, it's like the equivalent of someone saying, "I'm still playing Fallout 3." Like, what are you still doing in that game that is just so beyond compare?
I mean, I kind of compare it to like Minecraft for older people. Like, it's just the game that they play, and they go and they download mods and they do all this weird stuff and they just bang on the world, and I don't understand it. But you know what? It's there for those people and good for them.
Yeah.
I also think that the Doom demo is a really cool idea. It's cool seeing
doing it for a day.
Is it just a day? I thought it was the...
Oh, no, you get to play the first level.
But, like, I mean, how long has it been since we've seen
That's basically like the old
demo?
shareware Doom.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was such an integral part of how people experienced Doom for the first time.
Yep, that's the way I did.
It was a big part of how people experience a lot of games for the first time, but you really haven't seen that a lot recently. You've seen a lot of betas and stuff, but a beta is not really the same thing as a demo.
Right.
And half the time the betas are usually closed, or you have to have paid for the game already to get access to the beta. So I think that's a pretty neat move, and especially for me because I'm thinking about buying Doom at some point.
I am.
This will give me a chance to also check and see if Doom runs well enough on my computer to get it, or if I should wait a little longer. So
right.
It kind of runs a dual duty there, which I think is pretty cool.
What else? We have a
Doom and Fallout in VR, and that's really the end of what I wrote down as.
There was Prey.
Oh yeah, Prey in space.
Yeah. That's not Prey 2, and that's not Prey 1. This is a completely different Prey.
Yeah, a lot of people. Them. I think a lot of people who are big fans of Prey felt like they could have probably named this game something else, or just calling it Prey because they have the Prey license.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not too familiar, and I'm not familiar enough with the first Prey to speak on that or have an opinion. I mean, the game looked interesting. We'll see. I'm not, feeling one way or the other.
I think we can move on from Bethesda. Yeah, there's nothing else that really interested me.
Yep.
Unless you play Fallout Shelter, that's getting an update, but come on.
No.
Come on.
I downloaded Fallout Shelter twice and still never opened it.
You know what? It's not that bad of a game. Goodness.
I just never. It's not that I didn't want to play it or didn't I thought it was bad. I just never found the time.
Yeah.
I always want to start playing games on my phone, but I just never find the time. Like if I had a public commute, I would probably play a lot more, but I don't. So there are very few times where I have the time to dedicate to playing a game on my phone, and that's just reality.
That's just you.
Yeah.
But that's fine. That's fine. That's you. Let's go on to Microsoft's things, and let's get the big thing out the way. They talked about the new Microsoft console, which they're calling Project Scorpio. They're keeping the code name. They're just going to call it Project Scorpio console. Or at least they kept the code name when they talked about it.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I personally think that they'll take this opportunity. They did say it's coming in holiday 2017, so about a year and a half till it launches. I think it would be a really good idea for them when it comes out to lean into the just calling it Xbox. And then you have the Xbox and you have the Xbox Slim.
That's stupid.
There
already is an Xbox.
But it's not
I bought Halo on it.
I know, but I think because this is the Xbox. This is the Xbox platform. They're talking about beyond generation. There's no more Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox 720, Xbox 4. You just get the Xbox, and you may have one or two different SKUs of that, but you're just going to have the Xbox, and it's going to be a platform, and that's going to be where you play your Xbox games.
That's such a business model that boxes you in hard after at most a decade.
I don't know about that. I
mean, okay, so look,
it's been working for Apple for how long?
But the iPhones still have a number at the end of them. I have an iPhone 6S.
But the MacBooks, the Mac Pros, the iPads don't anymore.
I mean, call me silly, but a computer system that you could use for up to decades is a little bit different from a console. It's a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Less mass consumer. Like, most mass consumers don't buy a Mac because, well, they're expensive.
I mean, consoles are expensive too. Not as expensive, but
$400 versus $1,400.
Yeah. Either way, we're bearing the lead here.
Yeah.
There's a new Xbox confirmed. And
can I say
what?
Here's what it promises. Keyword is promises. 4K gaming at 6 teraflops performance, guaranteed 60 frames per second, while in 4K. I want to see this. I'm not saying they can't do it. I just want to see it. Like, live, running on a 4K TV. I want to see what that looks like. Because it's one thing to say that your console can do it, but to actually show it doing it is a completely different thing with a game, you know?
Well, and again, this isn't like it's not required that devs make games for this, and probably the only ones who are really going to do it are first party games. But I don't have a doubt that they're going to be able to do it. But they also are talking, like, they have not given any specifics, but it is going to be VR ready, and that's part of the reason why they want to have the extra power behind it. But one thing is, they very much emphasize that the games and accessories are going to work on both. All games and accessories are going to work on the original Xbox One, the new Xbox One Slim, and this Project Scorpio box. And I thought it was really cool how they got the devs to pitch it for them, and not just having like Phil Spencer and Major Nelson and like Xbox folks saying why you needed this, and having the devs come out and talk about why they were excited about this product, why they thought it was so good for gamers and the gaming industry. And I thought that was a really great way to message that, and just focusing on how they're not going to be leaving anybody behind, because I think that was a lot of the discussion and murmurs as we were hearing about these rumored incremental hardwares, about like what are they going to be doing to leave people behind, or are they going to be leaving people behind? How are they going to handle this? Are there going to be games that are going to be Scorpio or Neo only that your typical Xbox One consumer aren't going to be able to buy? But they said absolutely not. That's not what it's not going to happen. That everything works on everything, which I think is a good move on their part.
Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of Microsoft just doing some things to kind of enhance the Xbox One, they announced something that probably effectively killed the Xbox One and all games before it: the Xbox Play Anywhere program. Which lets you buy an Xbox One game, and so long as there is a Windows 10 version of it, the Windows 10 version of it will also work for you. So I have no reason to buy an Xbox One now. Thank you, Microsoft, for killing your gaming division. I don't know what the thought pattern behind this one is.
Here's the thing, is I love Halo.
Yeah.
I am very interested. I'm sad that I have not been able to play Halo 4 and 5. While they're not the great, there's something about them that I like.
That's fine.
I like the Forza games. I more than likely will not buy an Xbox ever.
Yeah, same.
There may be a situation where it happens.
If Cuphead doesn't get a PC release, I'm gonna look hard at an Xbox One.
But here's the thing. They know that there are people like me out there who are not going to buy that console. But I would still buy Forza. I would still buy Halo. Some people out there, I mean, I couldn't give two shits about Gears, but maybe I want to buy Gears, but I'm past that console time. They can still get money out of me. Or for the select people who kind of bounce between stuff, they can get something on their Xbox, play it for a certain while, then have to go to their computer and continue where they left off on their computer. So there are two different cases in which this is really helpful.
I mean, who really does that? Continues where they left off on their computer.
It's not a lot
That's
of people,
such a
I'm
niche
sure.
thing.
But you know what?
I get it.
It's a niche that they're serving.
I feel like it was a
Why
made-up
not give that good
point.
faith move and say, hey, you know what? You can do this. For those of you out here who do it, you can do it.
I think this is the step of Microsoft trying to slowly back away from their gaming division, and this is like the step to do that.
Well, and I mean, I think eventually you're gonna see an Xbox that is basically a PC. I mean, it already
is,
but it's gonna be, that line is gonna continue to get blurred over time. But like, with
Steam machines.
Them saying that Halo 6 is coming out on PC, with Forza 3 coming out, Forza Horizon 3 coming out on PC.
I don't think they announced Halo 6 on PC.
Huh?
I don't think they announced Halo 6 on PC.
They didn't announce it, but pretty much everybody has said that Halo 6 is going to come on PC.
Supposedly, there's going to be a re-release of Halo 5 on PC. That's a very strong
Well,
one.
right now, the only thing that is confirmed about that is the Halo 5 Forge mode.
Forge mode, yeah.
But I think that...
But come on, put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yes. But I mean, if they were to release Halo 6 on the PC and then give me something where I could get 4 and 5 as well and play all those, I absolutely would.
I will tell you right now, you did not miss much with 4.
I understand that, but I'm still oddly invested in the Halo universe for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about.
It's because the story's kind of fun, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, there's something wacky about it, but I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Also, you're Master Chief.
Yeah.
Fucking Master Chief.
Yeah. So the Xbox Windows 10 crossplay, I think that's a pretty. I think it's a pretty good move. Also,
let's move forward.
They did announce the Xbox One Slim. They did say too that in the Xbox One Slim there is no Kinect port. You can, if you have a serial number for your Xbox One, your Kinect, and the Xbox One S, get a free dongle from Microsoft to have your Kinect connected to the Xbox One S. But I think that's a good money-saving move on their part, and realizing not many people use the Kinect. Also, I will say that Xbox One S looks real good, and they got rid of the brick. It is just a standard power cable in the back. So they've definitely made some improvements with that hardware. So,
I mean, Kinect's dead.
Well, yeah.
Kinect's deader than the Wii.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Windows 10 Cortana stuff that they're adding to Windows 10 and to Xbox, you know, it's important for them to have a microphone, but like there are other ways to get a microphone. You don't need to connect.
Oh yeah, definitely. Moving on from hardware, the Gears of War 4 trailer was
gives a fuck.
The chintziest thing I have seen in a long. That was some of the worst voice acting I've seen in modern games.
I didn't watch it. I just couldn't be bothered to care.
Okay, moving on.
I forgot one thing about hardware too. The new Xbox One controller has Bluetooth.
I don't care.
I mean, you don't need a dongle to connect it to your PC now, which is great, because that was annoying to have to buy a dongle. Also, I'm not going to lie, that custom controller color...
Oh, I knew you would be the sucker market for that. I knew it. I'm like, Josh is eating this up.
Oh, I was. Oh my God. I want one.
Well, I cannot believe you. You know, it does look cool that you can just kind of custom order them and get them shipped to you. That's kind of cool. But it's not enough to make me buy one. I'll be honest.
Oh man, I need
the PS4 controllers feels better to me.
Huh?
The PS4 DualShock 4, that's like the gold standard of controller.
I need a new controller though, so we'll see. Anyway,
okay.
Moving on.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
It looked interesting.
They need to get the fucking YouTubers off that bullshit, because that was the most... I was so excited about that, and I was liking the gameplay, and then you had these guys go... for 10 minutes, and it was really annoying.
Yep. There was a point where I just turned the sound off.
Yeah, that was probably a good call, because, man... I mean, you know, I'm a YouTuber and whatnot, I guess, because I can't really, you know, complain too much. But fuck those guys.
Okay, yeah, so we could both agree that there were some parts of the Microsoft conference where... I'm like, this is killing me. Watching this is slowly making me die. Because it was just so cringy and just trying very hard. And, you know, the full disclosure... While watching this at my gaming job, I'm like, I hope we've never been this bad, because this is bad. This is so bad. It made me reconsider how I'll do presentations from now on.
Yeah.
Be perfectly
But I will say the way that you crew the ship, and every person has to have a different job, and like you have to do so much about crewing the ship to get it out to sea in the battles and whatnot. It looked pretty cool. I would be interested to hear more about that game, and that's definitely, you know, for me, a very much wait and see. But I'm picking up what they're throwing down.
Okay, all right. Let's move forward to a Scalebound, which is nothing of what I thought it was going to be. That looked
No.
like Devil May Cry crossed with Dragons, crossed with Oh No. That was
Yeah.
like that got a little too anime for me, and I love anime,
Yeah. And
but
you know what?
that went
It
a
was
little
really
far.
like that boss fight was really flat. Like that big
Yeah,
ass boss with all the dragons. I felt like they could have done more with it, but man, it
my
just
man
looked
Hideki Kamiya
boring.
came out on the stage to present that game, and you know what? If you're not following his Twitter, you should. That guy doesn't give a f. He just does. He's like, "What? I made Resident Evil 2. What you gotta say to me?" No, well, follow Hideki Kamiya's Twitter. He does not care. He does not care at all, and I respect that.
Hey, you know what? He knows what he's about.
By the way, can I also say that this entire, all of today, they would call out, like, here's the head of development for this game. Hello, I'm going to say 2 sentences. Here's 2 minutes of my trailer plus 8 minutes of someone else's trailer. Did you notice that pattern throughout the entire day?
Yeah, the pacing was very, very weird.
Yep.
I'm not really sure
I
about that, but
Yeah, it felt odd. It felt odd, like, hey, I worked on this game. They say like 2 to 3 sentences. That's it. Then they walk off. Then they play the trailer, however long the trailer goes. Then the trailer immediately cuts to another game for another company from a completely different studio. And I was like, I don't get what's going on. Are they that strapped for time? I didn't think so. But let's just move on from Scalebound. I don't think there's much more to say about Scalebound.
yep. And for me, at least, there wasn't much more that I saw or was super interested in the Xbox press conference. Halo Wars 2, the trailer I thought was badass, but the gameplay looked meh. It looked very
look like StarCraft but less.
yeah, just not really. Yeah, I just wasn't really.
Tekken 7?
Tekken
I was tricked at first. I thought that was going to be Tekken Cross Street Fighter. Fucking lied too. Fucking lies.
Yep.
Fucking
You know,
lies.
I came into that halfway through, and the first thing I wrote was Tekken Cross Street Fighter, and then I saw the end and it said Tekken 7. I was like, I wrote, oh, guess not.
Like, you got me. You got me good. Because I was in. I'm like, finally, that game is finally coming out. Nope, we're waiting another 10 years for that.
Yep.
Killer Instinct gets a new. I can't be bothered to care. I'm sorry. I was trying to pretend to care for a second.
Division's getting an update.
I don't care.
The State of Decay 2 demo. I mean,
Oh man, do I not care?
yeah,
We're moving on, just like to a whole different.
yeah, just moving
What
on.
Ubisoft. What was Ubisoft talking about? Oh my god.
Mike would be okay. For those of you who haven't noticed by now, Mike is not here today. He is on vacation. He wanted to say he hates everybody. He hates video games, and I mean that's pretty much the long and the short of it. But he would be remiss if I didn't mention that his first comments when the Ubisoft press conference started were that Ubisoft have become self-aware and getting a little wacky.
Yeah. Getting wacky. Yeah, their opening dance conference was like, oh no. Oh no. And then Aisha Taylor came out and did her thing, and she was a bit more reserved than she was.
Was it as bad as it's been?
No, oh no. Well, the opening dance conference spoke for itself.
But I mean, like Aisha Tyler's parts have been fucking abysmal the last few years. So like,
she didn't like carry a torch, but she did what she did. It was fine.
That's good.
Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
I didn't see what they showed at E3. I remember seeing the trailer they released a week or so before. Kind of interesting. I've always been a fan of Ghost Recon, so I'm very interested to see what they do with this new iteration. Could be pretty cool. I'm not sure. I don't know what they showed, if it was any better, any worse than what they had already ever launched. But I'll be keeping an eye on that.
Looks like Phantom Pain multiplayer, which I'm not against, but I already played the Phantom Pain, so it is. I don't know if this is really more of what I need.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2. You know what?